Is this thing on? Let's have a good service. All right, we are here back in another episode of In the Biz Hospitality Podcast. We are here with a very, very special guest of mine. Well, everybody's special, but I don't want to make anybody jealous. But very special guest, Alejandro Dalmau. Many, many years in this industry. Tell us who you are. Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, thank you for having me, Joey. You know that is a pleasure. Just the invite alone, much love for that. But again, my name is Alejandro Dalmau. I currently bartend at Blue Ribbon Sushi Bar and Grill on the beach. But I've been in the business for like 20 years, maybe more than that, really. When I think about it, it's a fucking long time. Yeah, then when I think about it, it's like, wow, I've been in the business longer than I was ever in like school. Like, it's crazy how much time flies.
It flies.
It
really
flies.
does. In this industry, I feel like.
Or when I have to put a CV together, the resume, and I start doing all that, like that. So I'm just so surprised that I've been in the business as long as I have. But I love it. I hate it all at the same time. It's given me a lot in my life. And I gotta say that I started in Miami. My first job was at the Miami Improv in the Grove.
Oh, wow.
A lot of good memories at that spot. And that catapulted me now 20 years later after working in a ton of different concepts and nightclubs. Now I fell into Blue Ribbon, which is a New York concept. But just enjoying and trying to live the Miami life, man. And I'm still in hospitality, man. It won't let me go.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. I mean, is it something about hospitality that, I don't know, you kind of, not that you hate it, because hate is such a strong word, but you kind of like dislike it sometimes, but maybe like 10% of the times, and then 90% of the times you enjoy the shit out of it. Like, you're just like ready to rock and roll every single time. But then it's also like either maybe that time before work or, you know, driving to work where you're like, oh man, shit. Or the time after work or after a bad, you know, guest, and you're like, oh my God, why the hell do I still do this? And then you get a great guest and you're like, fuck yeah, let's go.
This
Come
is
on.
why I do it.
This is exactly why I do it.
I've said that to so many people because I think it looks so fun from the other side, and people maybe think that it's ridiculously easy, and I think that's the art to make it look easy. But at the very same time, it's this weird thing where it doesn't like it's almost like baseball stats. Like 30% of the time, this shit works.
Yeah.
The other 70% is chaos. It's a mess. There's no order.
It is.
But that 30%, that little one service out of the whole month, it like keeps you engaged and in the game, and that's exactly what happens when you're like, wow, that's why I do it. Where you almost, because I mean, a lot of us do it for the money, but it's weird for me that I don't go into a shift like, how much am I gonna make today? You know what I'm saying? Like I want to make a lot of money, but it's not my first concern about like how can I clip all these people. Yeah. It's more like wanting to just be a good host.
Yeah.
And the days that I feel the magic, money's there, but it's when I get a whole room of strangers connecting, and the pressure is off of me as a bartender to engage. Yeah. Because it's nice, but it's draining to juggle so many different personalities and people. And when the pressure is a little bit off of you, and people that are complete strangers start to talk about, and the common thing would be like the food you served, the drink you made, or the joke, because they're listening to the conversation. Yeah, and now all of a sudden, two strangers become friends, even if it's just for 1 hour. Yeah. But those moments, I swear to God, I get in my car, and I'm like, motherfucker, you fucking did that shit. Those, for me, se me paran los fucking pelos, mano, because I love that shit. Yeah. I love that shit about this business.
That's amazing, and I mean, that's why you're great at it. You know, that's why you're great at it. I feel like you have two different types of hospitality workers. You have those, like you say, that's for the money, because we do make great money, whether you're a server, whether you're a bartender, even if you're a barback. I mean, depending on where you're at, you're making money. There's some places where you're not. But if you go in with the mentality that you have, that's where you really stand out. And of course, your customer service. I mean, I've gone to your bar millions of times here in New York as well. It shows. You know, you give everybody that love and that hospitality, which is what you need, instead of hey, here's a check, and what else do you want? And here's a check, and here's a check. And the first thing you do is, as soon as they sign, you're like already looking, and oh, you know, sometimes even right in front of the guests, I've seen bartenders be like, oh my God, you know, who knows? Maybe they got $5 and they were expecting 20. And that's good. Everybody does want to make money, but yeah, there's something special about being passionate at what you do, and that's what makes you really stand out, I always say. Now, interesting, you started in Miami. I thought you started in New York or in Jersey, man.
No, dude, I thought when I got out of high school, I was like a class clown, and I wanted to do comedy.
Okay.
So this is just weird how things pan out, because I grew up loving, I mean, all different types of comedians. I could go on and on, but I was a big fan of Saturday Night Live and Tracy Morgan and a whole bunch of stuff growing up. And I thought, wow, you know what? I want to do that. I want to make a room of people laugh.
Yeah.
And I go to FIU and I join a fraternity and I start dating some girl from UM who's in a different sorority. And I think I was working my first job. I was 17 years old at Toys R Us.
Okay.
For the holiday season. It was a nightmare.
Ooh.
It was a nightmare. It was a fucking nightmare.
I can imagine.
So as I'm dating this girl, I say to her, I say, man, you know, I need a job or some shit like that. And she says, how funny. My sorority sister works at the Miami Improv and they're looking for a host.
Oh, okay.
And I said, for real? I said, all right, I want stage time. I didn't even think about the restaurant business, bro. I just wanted to get on stage.
Yeah.
And I go, and I remember interviewing and getting the gig, and I was so excited. And then I did that for a long time, and I started to hit like a little bit of comfort, because what they were looking for was for somebody who had like an appearance of management.
Okay.
But they didn't want security guards that were intimidating. So like if you were heckling the comedian, they wanted me, who was a skinny little guy at 17,
Yeah.
to approach you and tell you to please like tone it down and not seem like an aggressive thing.
Okay.
So it was pretty funny when I would have to try to kick people out, because I was like, I'm gonna get my ass kicked today. It's like,
You tell the wrong person, and goddamn.
Oh, and the funny stories that happened there, dude, that to me, I look back and I'm like, we used to do 99 jams. On Tuesday nights, used to do Urban Night, okay? And it would be Benji Brown and Ricky Smiley, who were like DJ hosts at the time, and they were big on BET. And I remember that we didn't even have assigned seats. The people would stand at the front, and then when we opened the doors for the show, they would just rush in, and we would just hand out menus, because it was first come, first serve.
Okay.
And you would hand people menus, and they would just throw it on the floor, bro. They would grab it and throw it on the floor, and you'd be like, for real? And then imagine 300 people enter a room all at once, and you got a 2-drink minimum.
Yeah.
So you would go up to these people and try to get the drink order, and some of them would be big hood cats that with jewelry, gold teeth, dreads.
Coconut Grove back in the day.
Grove, Grand Avenue back in the day was different, man. And I'd laugh, because you go up and they'd be like, let me get a strawberry daiquiri, strong. And back then, this is years later, I think about it, I'm like, what? Bitches. What fucking bitches, bro?
Yeah.
You're fucking big tough. You've served who knows how many stints in jail, and you're asking for a fucking Miami Vice or a strawberry daiquiri.
Get the fuck out of here.
It was fucking hilarious when I look back on it, bro. Like, I got some good stories from there, man. I think one day, just to continue, but there's just things that pop into my head that I forgot. There was a guy named Gary Valentine who was playing one day, and he's fucking with some Cuban guy dressed all in white in the crowd, and he gets pissed, and they start yelling at each other, and the Cuban guy goes up to the stage, and Gary Valentine runs to the kitchen to grab a knife. All this shit happened. They had to get the Coconut Grove police to come in, and they chased the Cuban guy out the fucking... You remember when Wet Willie's was across the street in that little plaza? Yeah. So he pulled the old school, I'm gonna kick your foot from underneath as you run away, like that, clack.
And he tripped him?
And he tripped him, dude. He tripped him and he loked him up, and that was one of the funniest things that ever happened, bro.
Oh my God.
The madness that ensued in that place. And yeah, it's just absurd. It's absurd. It's absurd. But that place had zero hospitality.
Yeah.
Excuse me. That had nothing to do with like service.
Really, it was just order taking and kind of just, here you go, two drink minimum, and once you make your 2-drink minimum, that's it. It's pretty much fend for yourself.
And that's why I think that it wasn't a concern. And there's this weird thing where that's entertainment. Like, that was my introduction to hospitality, but that was really the entertainment business. You know,
Did you do anything other than host there, or?
So I ended up being a host, was kind of shining, and the manager took a liking to me, and I started to do introductions for the comedians.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, that was another thing. And I remember that I was doing like I would do like a silly like Scarface voice for the introduction. And play the music and shit like that. And one day, Daniel Tosh, comedian Daniel Tosh, I'm introducing him, and the son of a bitch rips open the curtain, and he goes, "That's not your real voice. Use your real voice." And the whole fucking place is, I'm in the middle, bro. You're in the middle doing this shit. And he just opens it up, and everybody can see he's yelling at me. And I didn't know what to do in the moment, but I remember him doing that shit to me. Bro. I was pissed. I was
my God. Yeah, because you kind of have an act yourself, you know. If you're the host, you could always do whatever voice you want, you know. I mean, I feel like.
Yeah.
As long as you don't botch the guy's name, you know, you don't say something that he didn't like. But, I mean, how does he know what your voice is really like, you know?
Well, that's what's funny, because I was doing the intros. Remember, they do 5-6 shows over the weekend.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, he didn't say shit. But after he saw me there, and he's like, "Who's doing the intros?" And then he saw me. He's like, "Bro, that's not his voice." and he did that shit to me, and I thought that was pretty funny, man. But from that job, I ended up losing that job. And there was a server who I got into a fist fight with at the Improv, bro. He wasn't working or some shit. And I remember we got into a fist fight. And I hit him, and his ear got fucking big. Yeah. And it wasn't like a bad fight or anything like that, but I felt bad after. He leaves the job. He starts working at P.F. Chang's.
Okay.
I get fired from the Improv, and for doing some silly shit. Now, I might as well be transparent.
Yeah.
People, I just told you how you would get hit in that room, 300 people.
Yeah.
And I remember I was just having a bad night, and some people would stiff you. They would not leave you $1.
Yeah.
0. And like a petty person, I'm not a thief or anything. I remember one day I said, "Fuck that. This guy's gonna leave me $1. Click, $1.
Yeah.
That receipt got a complaint, and I lost my gig.
Wow, over $1.
And I was on my way, brother, to be a manager. Like, I was well on my way at 19 years old to manage the Improv in the comedy world. Incredible. It was like, sometimes I kick myself in the ass, and I'm like, "Coño, you fucked that up."
Yeah.
So word to the wise, if you're in the business, don't fucking do any petty shit like that. Because if you don't make it with one, I guarantee you're gonna make more with the next person.
Of course, 100%.
Yeah,
and that's the beautiful thing about this industry. I always say it only takes one person to really make your day or make your night. I mean, you know, one big tip, one heavy hitter could really do it. So you were in Miami at the Improv. That happened. What happened? What happened after, as far as?
So that's why I gotta tell you, this kickstarts the real intro to hospitality, because this is when P.F. Chang's was hot.
Okay.
P.F. Chang's, I think, was still owned by Paul Fleming and Philip Chang. They hadn't sold it to Darden. So what ends up happening? I lose my job, and I need a job, and I run into this kid that I got into a fight with.
Oh my God.
And what a gem. He said, "Bro, come to P.F. Chang's and I'll get you a job." And I said, boom, go to P.F. Chang's. They hooked me up, and that was my real first introduction to like what a restaurant should feel and look like, because I got to give them credit. They were smashing at the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, at the beginning, it was hot. You know, to get a reservation at the Falls, I remember P.F. Chang's, or there was also Dolphin Mall. I think that one came later, but dude, they were banging the Mongolian beef. I remember that's what everybody was talking about.
Dude, I was at, you know which one I was at? I was the one in Brickell, across the street from the Blue Martini.
Yes, I met Pitbull there.
But that one has been there forever. That P.F. Chang's has been there
before
all of Brickell was Brickell. That P.F. Chang's existed in Mary Brickell Village.
Yes.
Pero eso era, it was empty. It was a deserted area. I think there was a parking lot where, like across from the Burger King or some shit like that. I just remember it was nothing. There was nothing there, dude. And I start working there, and I remember the handbook and all that stuff. That was my real first, like, you know, I'm working my way into this. That leads me years, like after working for them for like a year or two, I get into it with like a regional manager, And I move to Kendall, and I say, fuck it, I'm out. I end up in Longhorn, and long story short, from that, I skedaddle to New York City.
Mm-hmm.
And in New York City, I start working for Planet Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And in Times Square, and I spent a lot of time in Times Square. But that was all the beginning of, for real, when I was like, oh shit, now I'm in the restaurant.
Yeah. And when you got into P.F. Chang's, or when you got into this business, was it like starting from the bottom? Like, were you host again, or were you behind the bar? Were you in the kitchen to start off?
My bad that I skipped that. In
No, that's fine.
the improv, I went from host to server, from server to bartending a little bit. And then when I went to P.F. Chang's, I didn't have a real interest or love for bartending. And it was, I just thought of myself as a server. I was just trying to serve tables. And I remember I was so weak at my job that at P.F. Chang's, whenever somebody ordered a bottle of wine, I felt nervous about uncorking the bottle, table side. So I would pay other servers to go open the bottles.
Really?
And people would love me for it.
Yeah, of course.
Be like, yo, I'll give you $5 to go open this for me right now. $10 to go open this for me. And I look back and I'm like, damn, I want that money back. It's stupid.
You gotta write the names of everybody.
It's stupid. It was, you know how easy it is to open a bottle of wine? It was silly, but my nerves. I was just nervous.
Of course,
you know?
you were a kid just trying to make it, you know?
Yeah, man. So, but that's it. So I just kept serving and serving and serving. And it wasn't until many years later that I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. I was in the manager's office turning in my report, and they offered the bartending gig to an Australian girl who was beautiful.
Yeah.
But she said no immediately. And I said, I'll do it. And thank God I was there at that moment, because that's how I started bartending.
Oh, wow. That was in New York?
In New York, man.
Times Square?
In a place called Ruby Foods. That was a lot like P.F. Chang's, except it had sushi at the time, and that place was hot. When it was Pan-Asian cuisine was really popular, man.
Nice.
But that was owned by a guy named Steven Hansen, who has Dos Caminos and a whole bunch of other restaurants. But that guy tried to open up, like, I don't know how many restaurants at once, and it was the financial crisis, so a lot of them failed.
Okay. Was your brother working there too?
So this is a funny story, because my brother ends up entering the business, needing a job, and he was like, I'll never work in a restaurant. and now he's about to open a restaurant in D.C.
Look at that, many years later. Because I remember the name. I think if it wasn't you, then I saw your brother at Ruby Foods. But that was close to Times Square.
You were there.
I think I was there.
You came, that's right. Holy.
That was, I think I had hair back then.
Dude, that's right. I was still at Ruby Foods, because I stayed there a long time, man. I stayed there for a very long time. And I give credit to Be Our Guest, because they gave you like this really official bartender's manual. And the thing is that people weren't ordering all of these different types of drinks. I think it was still kind of like Harvey Wallbangers and, you know, like real foo-foo drinks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that hadn't really taken to heat. So it's not like I was bartending, but really I had no real skill at what it takes to execute cocktails at a high level. That was me. I was doing that gig, but I wasn't being creative. I wasn't stirring cocktails. Everything was shaken and dumped, and a ton of juice, and it was. I look back and I laugh, because it was really trashy in that sense.
Okay. I mean, it's a learning step, you know. Everything's kind of like a learning step. I mean, I remember my first cocktails, you know, if you give that to me today, I would be like, can you make that again? Or can the person back there that's actually using natural juices do it, or something like that? Because, this tastes like a Jolly Rancher, and it's supposed to be a vodka soda.
Awful, just awful things.
Terrible.
But you know, the palate, when you're young, the palate is crazy, because now I look back and I remember the first drink because I wasn't a drinker ever. I think back then I was smoking, but I was never drinking. It wasn't my thing. Yeah. And one of the drinks on the menu was a Mai Tai.
Okay.
And it's like a vacation in a glass.
Pretty much, yeah.
And when
it takes you somewhere else.
Man, when you're 19, I was like, I love this drink. And I would just sell that over and over, and I used to like to make it. But I think about, wow, the first cocktail that I fell in love with was a shitty Mai Tai.
Really? It's usually that one that it kind of gets you, but interesting. How is it bartending in Times Square? What would you say? A lot of tourists? Did you, you know?
Man, it's funny you asked me this because the other day I'm having a conversation with a couple, I think they were from Ireland or England, and I'm thinking about how they're telling me that I have to travel to go to Norway, to France, or all these places. And I was thinking about how cool it is if you're the right bartender in a place like Times Square and you sit there long enough, it's like the whole world came to me. I didn't have to go out there.
For sure.
And not in this like egocentric thing, but it's just like funny that how many people from so many different locations end up sitting across from your bar to go back home to wherever the hell they're from. And I have not traveled as much as I would like. But it's funny because even in Miami, this is a city with a lot of transients, a lot of people in and out. And I think that that's what it teaches you, how to juggle all these different type of personalities. After a while, you're like, oh, I know that guy's Canadian. I know that guy's Brazilian.
Different accents, different taste as well. You know, sometimes by what they order, you know, you can kind of see where they're from or what part of the world they're from. You know,
you know what's coming. You know what this service is gonna be like. You're like, okay, forget about it. This person is interested, or he just wants his pint of beer and he wants to be left alone.
Yeah.
But I feel like doing it in Times Square was fun because we would do the New Year's Eve parties. That was crazy. That was nuts.
How is that? Do you have to like how many hours before service do you have to get there for New Year's Eve?
Definitely like an hour or two, and they have to give you some pass, and then you have to get to the cops, and the cops have to let you keep coming in, like so on and so forth. But then it's funny that by the time you get out of work, the fucking streets are empty. You know, a street that was full with like thousands upon thousands of people. You go out and you're taking this lonely train ride home after this epic night, man. Sometimes it's just funny how I think that that's the other thing, right? Like, so as a bartender, you might think this too. There'd be nights that you sit there and an attractive person sits there and you think this may end up being a great night for me. I'm going to work, I'm going to make money, and then I'm going to leave and I'm going to get laid.
Yeah.
Right? Like you think that you're young and you're full of cum, whatever, you want to do this shit, right? But I laugh because in our job, dude, very rarely can people wait. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so we have such a long, like after it closes, once the kitchen closes, the kitchen's closed, but we're not closed. We still haven't hit last call yet.
And that's why I laugh, because you'd serve people drinks, and by the time they get home, bro, by the time you get out of work, they're falling asleep from the couple of drinks you gave them, bro. Nobody's waiting for you like that,
Yeah, it's totally different.
No,
totally
man.
different.
And that's why I also laugh, because I'm like, damn, you know, like, you entertain, but it's also a skill not to fall into that shit and start messing around with your guests, because I've worked with bartenders who have banged several different girls who end up showing up at the bar at the same time.
Yes, that happened. Not to me personally, but to a coworker, and then they start noticing that you're giving special attention to one guest, and then why are you giving special attention to her when I'm the one who you slept with last night or whatever, and all this. And yeah, no, it's a sticky situation.
You know, and let me tell you, they've slithered. The person I work with slithered. They were out of that shit, but the whole time I was enjoying laughing. I said, this shit can go off at any moment if anybody does some funny shit here, bro. But
and then there's alcohol involved, so you don't know what the hell's to expect. You don't know what to happen.
And then you see the person because they can't really let loose the way they would. They got to play their cards right. But those are all little things that happen, and I feel like in Times Square I had so many great nights because there's just so many people that end up crossing. It's the middle of Manhattan. I mean, of course, you have nights that were dead and there was nothing to be done. Yeah. But then there's other nights because people are there to have a good time.
Of course.
I think that that's what's cool about being in a city like New York or Miami. And I imagine Vegas or whatever, but a city where people come and kind of try to escape for whatever time they're there. And I think I learned a lot from being in that area. And from that area, I ended up leaving because my opportunity out of Times Square was to work in a nightclub, because then I was in house music and electronic music.
Yeah.
And I feel like working in the nightclub is when I started drinking a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's a different environment than a restaurant. You know, a restaurant, I feel like, you're more controlled. It's not always party. Compared to a nightclub where it's party. I mean, that's the whole point of it. People are going to party. People are not going to a restaurant, to go ahead and party. and the ambiance, the energy, it's all high energy, it's all high ambiance. And I'm sure you were getting tourists as well, or you were getting more locals, or...
Well, that spot was in Brooklyn, but there definitely was tourists. But it's way different because it was the first time that I wasn't serving food. My entire career had been food service and working for corporate restaurants. I come from kind of this corporate background in that sense, and what I've always enjoyed about it was how many systems they have in place.
The corporations.
The corporations is like, yeah, it's a little bit more structured, but that's also a good thing.
For sure.
So, which is something I realized when I left that, and because the nightclub was mom and pop.
Okay.
The nightclub was mom and pop, and they had a lot of investors, but it's the first time that I wasn't under like this corporate umbrella that like, yo, we're not supposed to drink. It's like they fucking just let the top off, and it was like drink. They almost like wanted you to drink because imagine that I took a step back actually. I had already been bartending and I had an in with the spot, but they didn't want to make me a bartender. They wanted to make me a bar back.
Okay.
And I said, fuck it. I'm gonna take it on the chin.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna fucking work, and then you'll see eventually that you guys should put me behind the bar.
Yeah.
I didn't have to wait that long because the guy that they gave the bartending gig to, his girl was super jealous.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, I gotta quit because my girl hates that I work here.
Okay.
And immediately got thrown into the VIP bar. And what was crazy is that at first I was kind of bitter because they wouldn't put me out on the main floor where the party was happening. I was literally behind the stage, so I was just hearing the muffled.
You were in a back room. It was like an alley or on a hallway. I think I saw you there.
Remember
as well.
that?
I remember and I don't remember.
Good.
You did your job that night.
Good.
But I remember I had to go back to see you. Like I didn't see you at the main bar.
I was hidden next to the green room, and that would be cool because imagine, bro, I would get pulled into the green room with some of my favorite DJs to smoke some weed while the bar's open. So I'd be literally pulling from a joint or a blunt.
Yeah.
Somebody would tap open yo, Al, they need you to make a drink. And I would like, take off. And I didn't have to go outside to smoke in the cold. Bro,
Nice.
It was like rock and roll for like that 2-3 years or however long that lasted. But it was awesome. But I realized that that's the moment that I started to drink. And from that spot, because they were going to close, I saw what was coming.
Okay.
They started to bounce checks.
Ooh.
And I remember opening the fridge to go get lemons and limes, and I would see the barbacks filling bottles of Belvedere with like bullshit vodka.
Oh.
And I said, what is happening here?
Yeah.
And I saw what was coming, and I ended up getting another job, bro.
Okay.
And I was working at a place called The Smith, which was really dope. But one day, I'm making a drink to the specs, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And the owner is standing at the host stand, and I serve the drink, but there's an overage. So what I do is I put it in another glass like a sidecar.
Okay.
And I pass it over like a sidecar. I get pulled to the office, and I get asked, why did you give that person extra liquor?
Okay.
And I go, yo, I made that drink to spec.
Yeah.
And they did the spec. They saw that I was right. And then I didn't get an apology. So I was pissed. I was such an entitled prick that I was like, he's not going to apologize to me after pulling me in the fucking office. And
After doing your job. You did your job.
And you guys switched the fucking spec. So I was right.
Yeah.
And I forgot what ends up happening, bro. I think I got a Facebook message from my manager from Ruby Foods. She was my manager there. Yo, look at how weird when I start to talk about this. This is crazy. Times Square is full of homeless people.
Mm-hmm.
I closed the bar in Times Square at Ruby Foods. This is going back now, so you get the context of this message. I'm the last person to leave, and I had to go out the back. And as I'm going out the back, I see a homeless person banging on the door, and my female manager is by herself trying to leave through the front door. So I went back into the restaurant and came out with her. And I remember her being impressed. She's like, man, you came back. Thank you so much. That means so much to me. Oh, my God, blah, blah, blah. I didn't think anything of it. It's like something I feel like you would do, too. Yeah. It's not like superhero shit. It's just like, it's
a thoughtful gesture.
Well, look at how that paid dividends, bro. Because years later, that woman sends me a message that her friends are opening up a top-notch, like Michelin star quality restaurant called Rouge Tomat. And I get that offer, and I say, fuck the Smith. And I
Take your spec somewhere else.
take your fucking spec somewhere else. And it's funny that the interview process for Rouge Tomat was so different than anything else, because I went into that interview and it wasn't just questions. It was like, yo, cut that lime for me. Cut that lemon. How would you do this?
Okay.
What is in this wine? It was a fucking test, and even
That was the interview.
that was the
That
interview.
was-
make
wow.
make me a classic drink. Make me one of your own drinks. Cut me the lemon. Cut me the lime. And explain to me some other stuff. And fill out this form to see, not to see how dumb you are, but how far your knowledge is.
Yeah.
We can teach you. How much we can teach you. And I fucking, because they give me the gig, I end up going to the Smith and quitting.
Yeah.
Big mistake, by the way.
Really.
Never quit until the restaurant that you're gonna work at is officially open.
Okay. Yeah.
I made the mistake of like quitting, and they said, I'm gonna open in September. So I said, I got like a week or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That fucking bullshit went till like February of the next year.
Oh shit.
So I had no income, dude. I had, you know what saved me? The money that I had saved from the nightclub.
Wow.
So I had been saving stacks and stacks, and not even with a bank account, bro, with a fucking shoebox.
Yeah.
And I would have given that shoebox to my mom, so I
Yeah.
wouldn't touch that fucking money.
Yeah.
And she held it under
Good
lock
idea.
and key. Yeah, because I know myself.
Of
bro.
course.
So that money got me through those months. And what I did was take a bag with some money, and I went to Atlantic City.
Okay.
And I would switch from one hotel to the other for like 3 weeks. And I just lived by myself in Atlantic City, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Which was rinky dink, but it was just my escape for
Yeah.
whatever time. Because I had broken up with my girl, blah, blah, blah. And finally, Rouge Tomat opens. And then I start working at Rouge, and they fucking schooled me. That's the beginning of me, like, whoa, this
Yeah.
is bartending.
Okay.
This is bartending, yeah.
Was it their cocktail program? Was it just their standards?
The wine program, the cocktail program, the attention to detail, the food knowledge, it was premier.
Yeah.
It failed. That restaurant should have never failed. The amount of money, the amount of effort, everything made sense. But
Yeah.
it just was the wrong time, wrong place kind of thing. I think it
Okay.
just didn't come together. But if I look back on that, I don't regret it, bro, because what is it, like metal sharpens metal? What's that thing? Like
Iron sharpens
yeah.
iron.
iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
I was working with some really cutthroat, dope cats that were willing to share their knowledge.
No.
And till this day, I'm thankful that I got to work with them. And it's funny when you work, because you do hire like 7, 8 bartenders, because you know like 3 of them are not going to work.
For sure.
And it's funny to see other people who can mechanically execute a job.
Yeah.
And then there's other people that I work with that were like encyclopedias up here.
Okay.
They have it all up here. Mechanically, they cannot execute.
Mm.
The movements are not there. But
Yeah.
here, they can fucking
They
talk
know it
all
all.
day. They know it all. And I remember that I worked at Rouge. This would piss me off because they made my wine knowledge very strong.
Yeah.
At the time, especially because I wanted to be good.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was coming. And there was one guy that worked with us, and forgive me if he's ever watches this shit, bro, but he knows who he is. And he was a sommelier. He was a
Okay.
junior sommelier, and he looked like a guy. Where's Waldo? You know where's Waldo?
Yes.
Exactly. Ese tipo come to life, okay? Ese tipo vivo in front
Was
of you.
his name Waldo?
No, I can't. I'm trying to remember, and I don't even want to.
No,
throw
you
him
don't
on
have to say his name.
But we'll call him Waldo
We'll
for
call
the
him
sake
Waldo.
of the story.
For sure.
He had a BO problem, bro. He stank like shit every day.
Really?
And I would be pissed because one of the things when you get hired in any place is your hygiene.
Of course. Especially when you're working with guests and with food and with drinks and, I mean, you know.
It's
For sure.
like, right, that's like just part of the job description. And I'd be
Yeah.
like, how is this guy selling expensive wine to our guests? And if you go to smell the wine, but you smell this motherfucker's BO, bro, it's like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't fucking make
Like,
sense.
this wine is kind of funky. But it's not really the wine. It could be the guy.
And you know what used to make me hot under it? Because I feel like it's when other people are like, because they know more than you, they make you feel less than.
Yeah.
And I didn't like him because he was smarter than me, again, on paper. But then there was those little things that I'd be like, damn, you're, for being a dick and making me feel dumb, I'm going to call you out on stinking like shit.
Of course.
Which, again, is a silly ego thing, but I remember at the time, I was like, this doesn't make sense. You got to address that this guy needs to put on deodorant or whatever the fuck it is. But Rouge was definitely where I started going to all those crazy bars, you know, Employees Only, Rain's Law Room, the Nomad.
Yeah, the big time.
I started to go and study. I was like, would go to bars to drink, but also to see, and I was a menu thief. I would go and be like, whoop, I'm out of here, because I wanted to look at these menus later. I'll be like, how the fuck is this getting done? They're using chirimoya, they're using, what the fuck
crazy
is this?
ingredients.
And that was back then. But that really made me look back and be like, wow, I did not know what I was doing at all.
Yeah.
And I think a great documentary, have you seen Hey Bartender?
I don't think I have.
It's a great documentary you should watch.
Where is it on? What platform do you
You might be able to catch it on YouTube for free now.
Okay.
Actually,
Hey Bartender, I'll check it out.
Hey Bartender, and what they do is they follow one bar owner out of Connecticut who's like just a rinky-dink bar, and he's trying to elevate his program. And then they follow Employees Only and their star bartender, and how there's two different feels to the neighborhood bar and a cocktail bar.
There it is. Totally different.
Even the guests, the whole experience.
Everything, exactly. The cocktail menu is going to be night and day compared to, a local, pretty much neighborhood bar, like you say, to a cocktail experience. Because there's some bars where you go ahead and their cocktail might look simple, but then they present you that cocktail and you're like, whoa, this is out of this world. Now, bartending in so many different concepts, what would you say is your favorite as far as like a nightclub or a restaurant? A mix of both, or what would you say?
It's funny because now being through all of them, man, it's kind of this, and that's I mean, because I got to work at a Michelin star restaurant, and I don't like sometimes the stiffness of a Michelin star restaurant.
Okay.
I like the integrity of a Michelin star restaurant.
Yeah.
With kind of like a relaxed vibe in places that I worked at, like the Smith. I gotta give the Smith something like that, where it's like, okay, this is good cuisine, but this is super chill.
Yeah.
Super relaxed. But when I look back, I'm like, had Rouge Tomate done more business, I think that would have been like really
the
perfect.
Spot, the ambiance and everything.
For me, it's like they put money into it. There was thought put into it. Even they were so thoughtful, bro, that they weren't carrying like classic brands like Tito's and Belvedere and Grey Goose just for the fuck of it. They would study these producers, and if they weren't like planet conscious, you see what I'm saying? Like,
no.
If it wasn't a conscious brand, they would not fuck with them.
That's awesome.
They wanted to do like all natural, no additives, no preservatives. It was trying to make Rouge Tomate, to tell you the truth, was one of the first places I was trying to do healthy food cool.
Nice.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like mushroom tartare.
Yeah.
Fucking, I think one of the best dishes I ever had till this day I try to do is like miso glazed zucchini. That was the main dish.
Wow.
With like acorn squash. It was crazy, dude.
Yeah.
So for me, the wine program and the drink program there, to me, something like that, but it needs to be busier. It needs to be busier. Because I definitely don't like the nightclub. It's like a vampire, a lot of dark energy after a while, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot of dark people in that shit, man. And what I would like to have is like a restaurant bar, because the food has to be there.
Yeah. Good food.
And it just it can't be like church. Can't be like stiff, and has to be relaxed. Bro.
Yeah, not a volume or something like that. Like hey, you need to lower your tone.
Oh, see, that's extreme too. That's extreme, man. That's extreme, man. I just need it to be a little bit of a vibe, but I need food and a bar, and I want it to be like, I like people to dine at my bar. I've never enjoyed just drinks. Yeah. I feel like if you work, no disrespect to anybody who works in just a cocktail bar, but for the check average to go high, you have to make a shit ton of drinks. and you can only have so many fucking drinks before you're shit-faced drunk.
For sure.
So I like places that provide food so that check average runs a lot higher, a lot faster. And I like service.
And sometimes they'll drink even more because, I mean, you know, you're picking that stuff and then you get thirsty, you know, maybe you order an appetizer, maybe a pretzel with some kind of cheese dip or something like that. It's just going to make you keep ordering. And before you know it, I mean, that pretzel's going to last you 2 or 3 hours. But if you're at a nightclub, you're just going to go ahead, hey, let me get this. You go back to the dance floor. You don't really, you know, there's no hospitality. Really, there is, but
it's
very
hard.
few.
It's because of the environment. It's so hard. You can still execute and be hospitable in that environment because you're like part of the good time. But it's also you're dealing with people that are on all types of drugs and they're a fucking mess. And then they're like turning to their friends and then no, let me get 15 tequila shots. No. And you make 15 and like, oh, I'm sorry, let me get 3 more. And you just want to throw the fucking bottle in their face. And you're like, yo, take the fucking bottle and get the fuck out of here.
Exactly.
Go get your fucking shine box. Sorry. But it pisses me off because...
Tell me how you really feel.
That's how I really feel about those people because I'm like, get your shit together, bro. Get your shit together right now. Like, take the tally and come back. I'll happily make them.
Yeah.
But this shit I've never liked about it. And also it's so loud, bro.
You're screaming.
That I definitely feel that my hearing has been affected from the time I spent in the nightclub. Yeah. Even today, when I would get guests at the bar, and I'm like, what? I do the Hulk Hogan.
The Hulk Hogan, I like that.
Yeah, I like doing it, but people hate it. It's like, I honestly can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Or I feel like that's the one gripe I had against it, and also how it makes... It's habit forming, man. It's habit forming, and by the time you know it, you don't even see daylight. The nightclub lifestyle is like just you only see the night. Yeah. You're fucking home with the shades closed until 5 p.m. and then you get up and go.
Yeah.
But you can only do that, I think, when you're young, bro. It's like,
I think so too, and it's terrible when you get out of the nightclub. Let's say it's 4 or 5 in the morning, and then you get home, you eat. You shower, I have to walk the dogs, and then the sun's coming up. And it's like, oh, man, it's 7:30, 8 in the morning. And then you got to do it again. I mean, you got to do it again that same day at 6 to 9 p.m. That's kind of like your window. But, you know, you got to sleep, and then you got to go ahead and go to the doctor. You got to go ahead and walk the dog during the day as well. So you can't really sleep. You have to take a nap, you know?
No, there's shit that still needs to be done if you're a fucking half a human. if you are, because there's some people that maybe that they don't give a fuck, really. They'll go 3 days without showering and respect. They show up at work or whatever. But I feel like it's taxing, bro. You do that long enough, and all of a sudden, bro, you're just a drone. You're not even there, bro. You're just a drone going with it. And the shit that keeps a lot of those people locked in sometimes is the money, man. The money in the nightclub shit, to me, I tell people all the time, that's a sprint. Yeah. If you get a nightclub gig, run with that motherfucking shit until the wheels fall off, because most probably the wheels are going to fall off because all these clubs do some funny shit. Yeah. I've worked with people who have had nightmare stories. Like, I remember back in the day, bro, I had a homegirl who worked at Opium or Mansion. She came from Sarasota, Florida. She was a stick, like this microphone, bro, like this. See, no boobs, no ass, no nothing. Innocent. Not to say it like that, but she was from a trailer or whatever. She was cool as hell. Yeah. Gets a job at one of these nightclubs, and within 3 months had titties, a BMW, and a house on the beach. And I remember chilling with her, and she told me that she had to pay the club back money every paycheck. Every paycheck she would have to pay back. And because she had gotten paid too much money.
Oh my gosh.
So because they overpaid her, and she couldn't keep tabs, none of the girls could keep tabs on how much they made, and they didn't want to pony up with a lawyer. No. They just ended up every paycheck giving the fucking club back money.
Holy shit.
There's always funny business with those people, bro.
There is. The nightclub, it's a crazy situation. But would you say that's the best money you've ever made?
Hands down. Yeah. Hands down. Literally, people will be just throwing money at a bucket. There was one day I had to take a train ride home from Brooklyn. Remember, I used to live in Jersey. I would go to Brooklyn to work and I had to get back to Jersey. And I had made so much money one night that they was stuffing it in garbage bags, okay? and I would have to go to the bathroom in the middle of me bartending to like separate the money.
Holy shit.
It had to be like $3,000 to $5,000 that I had in cash in a backpack, and it's 6 a.m,
Holy
and I'm going
shit.
home, and I'm
And
nervous.
that's what you made in one night or one weekend?
Night.
One night.
One
3
night.
to
It was
5K.
It was Halloween night or some crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? That you cake money like stupid. But imagine that I'm trying not to fall asleep because I'm like, yo, I can't fall asleep with this fucking magic. And nervous the whole time, bro. Nervous, and then by the time you get home, you're like, yeah, it's like fucking Richie Rich.
It's Christmas, friend. I love it. It's Christmas. You open it up and you're like, there's more.
Yo, those are the best. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Fucking, it didn't matter if it was all scrumbled up. It was just like money.
Of course.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I liked about that shit. But there's nothing that I learned. There was no hospitality. I don't think that I got stronger as a bartender. I wasn't making drinks.
Yeah, maybe just quickness. That's about it. Maybe your speed got up, but that's about it. You're just slanging, I'm sure, vodka Red Bulls and shots.
That's
like
it.
You said.
That's it. There's
everything with Red Bull.
There's no cocktail shit to that. No shaking at all. Everything is mixer and go.
Wow.
And I remember at the beginning they were trying to do a cocktail program, which I give them credit. But like most nobody's looking for that in the nightclub, so they wouldn't sell. It just wouldn't move. Man, there's just crazy shit that has happened there because that nightclub. The bouncers used to. I'm going to tell you a story here. The bouncers used to throw people out and confiscate drugs. So they wanted drinks and I was probably one of the only ones that could get them a drink.
Okay.
And then they would go and whatever they confiscated, they would put it in my vest in all the pockets. And I would have stuff that I didn't even know what it was, which I appreciated that they were giving me love. But I was like, this is wild man shit, bro. Like, you can't just be like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
You can't do it. It's a mess.
You don't know how you're going to feel the next day, how you're going to wake up, if you even wake up. Because, it's a wild business.
Yeah, man, it's just, I remember, because I loved house music and I loved that party shit, but after working in it, in a nightclub environment, I started to just really get disenamored with it.
Yeah.
Which is really funny, because I think the same shit happened with the comedy world. You look at comedians and man, these guys are so funny, they must have such a cool life. And then when you work with them over the whole weekend and you hear their stories, you're like, these are some of the loneliest people.
Yeah.
They have no friends, they're constantly on the road, and you only have a weekend buddy. The people that work at that restaurant or the nightclub become your friends for the 2-3 days that they're there.
Yeah.
And goodbye. And I remember one comedian. We would get warnings about some comedians, like, do not party with this guy. Do not go out with this guy because he's a cokehead. And if not, if he cancels the show, we're not going to, you still have to pay us, blah, blah, blah. But one comedian asked one of my co-workers to go to his hotel room, right, to hang out. And she was a fan, so she said, I'm going to go to the hotel room. When she gets there, the guy had like 2 or 3 brown paper bags of sex toys. Okay, he was a fucking maniac, and she had to run out of it. She said, "No, I'm shit you not. I get to the fucking hotel room in the Grove, and he has like 3 brown paper bags, like supermarket, bro.
Yeah,
like, not little.
Oh
ones.
my God, no, like the big
Whole Foods, like he went sex toy shopping at Whole Foods." It was a fucking mess, bro.
Holy shit.
Crazy people.
And she thought she was just going to, like, crack jokes and shit. La pobre.
I feel bad, man. I feel bad for shit like that happens in the business.
They say don't meet your heroes because you're going to be disappointed. You know? And she was disappointed for sure, I'm sure.
Imagine, I can't see that comedian today and not think about the bags of sex toys. It's tainted. His whole career for me is tainted. He's tainted as a fucking pervert.
Wow, la pobre. Bueno, hopefully she picked a new comedian.
But now, it's so funny. I've never asked you, how the fuck did you start in the business? Because when I met you in New York, you had graduated high school by then?
I had graduated high school. Yes, I was working in Volkswagen. I was working at a dealership, but I was bartending just events at that time. And all that through elite bartending school.
So that's how you learned?
That's how I pretty much learned. I was a regular at Flanagan's. I was just going, And man, watching the bartenders just be smooth, it's a sports bar. You're not making old fashions, you're not making cocktails, but just the smoothness and the way that those bartenders would make everybody feel kind of like that, like a neighborhood feel. It is kind of like a neighborhood bar, you could say. And I was just like, man, I like this. I feel like I could do this. And I did have older friends always, because my cousins are older, and some of them had bartender friends. So, we would go out or whatever, and they would make shots, of make Jolly Rancher shots and things like that. And I was like, this tastes good. Everybody's kind of, together. You say shots in the kitchen, everybody goes to the kitchen. You say shots outside, everybody's going outside. So it's kind of like that. And then I went ahead, I took that class, and I started getting into events, started going into hospitality. I was going to go ahead and quit my job, I remember, to go full time, and I tore my Achilles. This was back in 2019. No. Yeah, I tore my Achilles in 2019. I was bartending and working at the car dealership at the same time. So I would call out sick and be like, yo, I got a sore throat. But I was really at Ultra bartending the 3 days or something like that. We're at a music festival. And I went ahead, and after a few years of doing just events, I was like, okay, I hate my job. Selling car parts. I was making money, and it's still kind of a customer service aspect, but I was always the bad guy. People just, how much money do you want to spend on your car when you buy it? Zero. How much money do you want to spend when you go out? All of it, and then after just being a regular and all that, that's when I was like, okay, fuck it, I'm done. I put in my 2 weeks. 2 days after putting in my 2 weeks, I tore my Achilles. Had to stay in the car dealership. I had to swallow my pride and everything and be like, yeah, can I stay with you guys a little longer? Because it was a desk job, and I can't walk. I mean, I was in a little scooter, imagine bartending like that, which happened to me again while I was in New Orleans. That's why I left New Orleans. But that's pretty much where I started. And then, funny thing is, I feel like everything happens for a reason. That's why I feel like also when you're going through the shitter, or when you're going through it bad, just think you're going to get something positive out of this. Like, God has a plan for you, for sure. And I remember I was in bed rest for 10 days. All I did was go to the bathroom, be in bed. Go to the bathroom, be in bed after the surgery. And then that's when Ad was like, hey, you want to own a franchise, Elite Bartending. I had already graduated from them 4 years prior and was bartending with them before, since 2015. And an ad just said, hey, did you want to own a franchise or whatever? And I was like, oh, I've always wanted to own a business. I like bartending, so let's just put 2 and 2 together. I saw my options, so was able to buy that franchise, and then once I pretty much got into that franchise, that's when I started working more into, restaurants and things like that. That's when I started at Flanagan's, was a server, was a bartender, worked as a kitchen and things like that. But yeah, man, it was pretty much the school, because I didn't know how to make anything.
It's funny that you bring it up, because I forget about this after spending so much time in the business. That's a question you get from somebody who's looking for a job or likes what you're doing, and they're like, man, I'm sure you've gotten that question, like, do I have to go to school?
All the time.
And I laugh, because I'm like, if you're not in a restaurant and you have no way of learning and your only option is school, then go to school.
Yeah.
But it's something that I feel, because my brother went to culinary school, and it's like he says, for him, he sometimes says that it was a waste of money for him, but I feel like, no, it taught you some shit to get to where you're at now.
I mean, your brother's a badass.
Yeah, but it's like you have to start somewhere, bro. You can look back after years of experience and then be like, whoa, that was kind of bullshit. But it's a stepping stone. That shit is a stepping stone.
For sure.
And that's why I can't knock it. And some people I've heard knock, like, bartending school or anything like that, and I'm like, no, bro, there's an avenue for the people that don't have another option. That can be how you maneuver, because not everybody some people don't even want to do it professionally.
Yeah.
You just want to know how to make drinks to host a party.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But it's funny that for me, my shit was that I fell in love with hospitality first. I don't think that the bartending was something on my radar at all. I didn't even look at the philosophy of tending bar and the philosophy of hospitality.
Yeah.
And I find it to be so fascinating, the business we're in, though, for spending so much time in it, bro. It's a welcoming port for people from all different types of life, bro. I've worked with people that went and spent money in CIA, and I've worked with people that are wearing a fucking ankle monitor while cooking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I've definitely worked with the whole spectrum of people that have dedicated their lives to becoming like level 3 or master sommeliers, and then there's other people that just know how to bust ass in the kitchen and have no interest of ever getting an accolade.
For sure.
But they slay the dragon. You know what I'm saying? They fucking kill.
They get shit done.
And that's the whole reason, though, that still to this day, and earlier I said, like, oh, I have a love-hate with this thing, and I think when I say hate, it's like our job is stressful because of the lack of control. You have no idea what you're getting day in and day out when you're doing a la carte service. To go back to a question, what I like about Michelin star tasting menus is that that's controlled madness. I have 50 reservations, but those 50 reservations are going to have these 7 courses. Yeah. Those courses are not going to change unless somebody hits you with some bullshit. I'm a pescatarian and you want to... Yeah. But on paper, every day
it's like organized.
You know. And it's also what I like about working catered events.
Yeah.
Catering is a cool little business, or catering is a great way to make great money, but that's a whole nother hustle because you got to set up, break down.
For sure, yeah.
But that shit has its own little avenue to make great money. But I look back and I think about it and I'm like, wow, what it was at the beginning, culturally, is like my family used to host parties. I'm sure you come from a similar thing. So it's like growing up 10, 11, 12 years old for Noche Buena, New Year's Eve, Thanksgiving. My aunt would host a big party and the whole building would come through to the party. So it wasn't just my family, but it would be all different types of fucking people and playing music. And I used to love just being at the party, bro, dancing with my great-grandmother and playing fucking music. And that was, for me, when I look back, like, what is it that I love about this fucking business? And it's that we host a party every motherfucking day that we back there. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be a provider of a fucking experience or a nice time.
Yeah.
And on my way coming in, I was thinking about what I told you. Like, how do you keep your own emotional shit in check when you're stepping into the bar? Because we're all dealing with shit. But I laugh because I'm like, damn, the guests are dealing with their own shit too. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people that come and sit at your bar and they could be happy, they could be sad, they could be angry. There's a whole bunch of shit. But what they don't want to be is like, when I go to a bar, I don't want to be judged. It's like a place that I go to relax and let my guard down and be loose. But a really good bartender makes you feel seen but not judged. See what I'm saying? Like,
for sure.
You're welcome and you're in the right place. And that's a bad bartender, because if you've ever been to a place that's busy and a motherfucker won't even look at you, like, I don't even want you to talk to me. But motherfucking look at me, bro. Just lock eyes with me and be like, I see you. I'm trying to get to you. Yeah. But I feel like there's just sometimes a disconnect. And also sometimes when I laugh, because I'm an emotional person, and I sympathize with motherfuckers, that sometimes me llevo la carga. I take, like, you're sad, and for a minute I kind of feel sad. Yeah. And you do that shit all night long, or you're juggling the emotions, bro. By the end, your battery's fucking drained. Yeah. Your shit is fucking drained, bro. Yeah. And there's days that I leave the job, bro, and I'm like, I just want to be in silence.
There's some days where I just go ahead, I sit down, I get food, or I make a sandwich, or sometimes I don't even do anything. And especially when I worked in the nightclub. When I worked in the nightclub and it was just music and freaking reggaeton and hip-hop and all that, where you get out and your ears are still ringing, you make great money, all that stuff, but it's like you sit down, and it was either in my front porch or my dining room. I would go ahead and roll up, and it's like, wow, it was either a great night, it was a bad night, but right now, and it's just ears ringing. That's also something that, you know,
I could feel it as you say it. I know that feeling.
Yeah. Sometimes we need it because, man, we're more than just bartenders. We hold a lot.
Bro, you hold the space for people, and I find it to be interesting. When you're good at what you do, there's a show on HBO called The Deuce. I don't know if you've ever seen that shit. I just started.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it.
It's older. I just got recommended this shit. But the first few episodes will give you the gist of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
James Franco is a bartender in Times Square in the 1970s.
Oh wow! What a time to be alive.
Pimps and prostitutes and peep shows, and in the show, they do a good job of highlighting how he's dealing with all these different types of personalities. He's still him, the bartender, but he has to deal with the pimp and the hoe and the mafia and the businessman and the worker. Yeah. He has to deal with all that shit. And I laugh because I'm like, damn, yo, that right there, that's the shit that we really do. Yeah. The drinks are cool, secondary, I think, to what we really do. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're really good at your job, you're elite level at what you do, you know how to provide and hold the space. Yeah. And the crazy shit for me, before I'm going to stop because I know I'm talking a lot, is my bad.
No, we got all day.
No, but I could, my bad. Yeah, my bad. My bad, for real.
No, you're good.
But I have to highlight this shit. If you ever looked at it, and frustrates me too, is like Japanese bartending is so different than Western bartending. In Japan, if you ever watch videos of those, those motherfuckers, because they're nasty, but those fuckers, like, they're just executing service at a high level in terms of, like, mechanically. You don't even have to, like, hi, my name is Tim, and I'm going to be taking care of you today. Like, that's not what they're about. They're almost about executing the details. And the details, and this is what I love too, and it's hard for what we do because I have that attention for that detail, and if I see somebody else doing it, I'd be like, yo, that's nasty. Yeah. But there's so many people here that it just over the head. And
for sure.
No care at all about it, really. They just give me my shit and give it to me fast. Yeah. And I just feel like it has to be a little bit of both. And I feel like we don't have to have that pressure. That I have to be, like, super friendly to you. I should be able to be friendly enough, but then just let me execute my shit. Yeah. And I feel like sometimes we're pulled too far one way. And I mean that especially when you get a regular. Oh. You see what I'm saying? When you have a first-time guest, there's this space. I've had times that I collect a regular, and I'm like, why the fuck was I ever nice to this person? Why the fuck? Yeah. Why? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because they're cool.
For sure.
I find that to be funny. You collect them and they're cool until they're not cool.
Until they're not cool because they talk too goddamn much during your shift when you got fucking plates to go run and you got a family that's coming at you and they're still trying to tell you how their car broke down fucking 3 months ago after they've repeated it for the last 3 months. Yeah, no, I don't want to go on a rage, but it's kind of.
If you're a regular, if you're a bar fly out there, and you go to anybody's bar very often, and you see your favorite bartenders getting his or her ass kicked, don't make commentary, please. That's one thing. Like regulars, don't make commentary.
What you making there?
What? No, bro, Art Basel this past year, I have like 3-4 regulars. I do love them, but when I'm getting my ass kicked at Art Basel, 3-4 people deep, and they come in and they're like yelling from the other side of the bar, "Hey fellas, busy? Why such a long face, bro?"
Read the room.
The fucking disrespect. The fucking disrespect. Yeah.
So, all right, we'll take a pause now. We'll be back. Stay tuned. We are back. All right, that was a great conversation in the first segment. We are back with some cocktails. I mean,
it wouldn't be,
it wouldn't be a proper podcast. I mean, in the biz. Come on, get out of here. So yeah, one thing, as you guys know, as you guys have noticed, I like to make a cocktail for my guest. This particular guest, I didn't ask him what his favorite cocktail or anything, because I know he doesn't discriminate. So I went ahead and I kind of freestyled it. I hope you enjoy it. It's pretty much Jameson, 3 ingredients, Jameson, rum chata, and fresh Cuban coffee. So cheers to that. Tell me your thoughts. I haven't even tried it. I haven't made this recipe in years.
Well, you gotta drink them. You gotta drink them quick.
Yeah. Well, How quick?
Not because I'm an alcoholic, but that's when they're best, bro. Right away.
Fresh. Oh, how is that?
My man.
Oh, yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
I think when espresso martinis started becoming real hot,
Mhm.
you know, a few years ago, I was like, man, I think this is a cocktail that you can knock out of the park with every single spirit, including whiskey. You know, this one has Jameson with vodka, with everything. Because people, I mean, traditionally it was vodka, and then, you know, you get, oh, let me get reposado on there, or let me get this and that. And I was like, you know what? And I kind of just started knocking them out with every spirit, except for gin. Even though I think you could still probably make a decent espresso martini, probably just depending on the coffee that you use.
Yeah, but now that I thought, like, damn, this is like a smash between like an Irish coffee, although the Irish
Yeah.
coffee's hot, right, with a little espresso. It works. It's not even
It works.
fair. It works so
It's
well.
a Cuban Irish
It's
espresso
it's an-
Irish coffee.
exactly. No, but that's why. Coño, mano, it's fucking amazing. It sells itself. Bro.
Good. I'm glad you like it.
But it's funny how shit goes through, the drinks go through phases. You know, like a while back I was just making a shit ton of Aperol Spritz. That seems to have gone away.
A little bit,
But the Aperol Spritz shit was going crazy.
Yeah.
This shit is becoming, again, it's like probably one of the more called for cocktails.
I would say so, especially, you know, 2 in the morning. Espresso martini, like, fucking, where's the after party? Because I know you had an after party if you're drinking espresso martinis at 2 in the morning, but...
Bro, a couple of weeks ago, I did that way too late, bro. I swear to God, I was home staring at the ceiling and I fall asleep. And I didn't do any funny business. It wasn't
Yeah.
like I had done anything else, but it was just too many espressos and espresso martinis at the end of the night where I got home, bro. I walked
Yeah.
the dog in the fucking cold weather. I get back and I'm like, I gotta go to sleep, bro. And te lo juro, like that, and like a movie scene, the fucking sun came up, my eyes were still open. I couldn't fucking sleep at all. So
12
don't do that.
hours later, your eyes haven't even blinked.
I think I ended up no sleep, worked the next shift, and people kept asking me, and I was like, I'm fine, but I'm exhausted.
I'm just
fine, but my fucking eyes hurt.
Yeah.
Because you keep going, man. That's the shit that's funny, because on the break, we were talking about sometimes when you work through a hangover, and it's funny to me how you'll spend half of the day trying to recover, like eating,
Yeah.
you shower, all that shit, and then by the time you make it, most of the time, unless you're really fucking banged up,
Yeah.
the moment you get behind the stick, it's like you kick into that gear and you're like, oh shit, all of a sudden the hangover, you wouldn't recognize the person I was
Yeah.
3-4 hours ago. It's,
100%.
yeah, dude, it's weird how once I make it to work, something happens where I could snap into it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But there's definitely been days where you're like, I think not long ago, this was sad, but I told somebody, I was in the shower, bro, the shower was coming down and I was just shaking, like, what did you do last night? And I don't say that proudly. I'm not. I say that, and it's fucking messed up because it's funny, but it's something that I'm trying. But it's not fun to be there anymore. When you're in like,
No, man. No.
it's not fun. It's not fun.
No, something I'm gonna say that's you know, I'm not proud of either. But I mean, I remember, and this was months ago. This was months or maybe even a little over a year ago. Yeah, over a year ago for sure. Where it was one of those that you just work, can't go to sleep because you know you got out at 3-4 in the morning. You still have the DJ, all that stuff, and then you got to open at 11 in the morning, and it's like, oh my god, yeah, okay. I saw the whole sunrise and everything. I remember the beginning of that shift, telling my bar back, I'm gonna be a little while in the bathroom, just kind of cover for me, because I know what I'm about to put my hand halfway down my throat. Ended up puking, but dude, I mean, the middle and the ending of that shift was just amazing. I was back. I was ready to go, baby.
Yeah.
You know, it was just getting all that out, freaking getting your demons out, and then I feel like it's once a guest makes you think. Like, I feel like, okay, let me go ahead and let me get you know, a specific cocktail made a specific way and all this stuff, because when you're drunk or when you're hungover at work or whatever, everything's kind of routine.
Mm-hmm.
But then they ask you for that specific something that maybe you haven't made in months, and you're like, oh, okay. You know, makes you think, and then that's when you're like, now, let's go.
It's
Where we
crazy
go?
to me. It's fascinating to me how that could happen. I wish that I knew exactly what the fuck takes place, but I've noticed it in my career that definitely my bad, brother.
No,
Thank
you're
you.
good.
Several times that I've been completely fighting to come back to life. It's not until the moment that I clock in that I'm like, oh shit, I'm back.
Yeah.
And for some reason, you know, like all of a sudden. But there's definitely been times where you can't even come back from it. You know what I'm saying? I think one mistake I made too was one time I went to some tasting. It was like Glen Morangi was doing a tasting at Komodo.
Oof.
So it was pairing scotch with sushi. Sounds fucking weird. Even today, I'm like, they made it kind of work. But I remember getting so sick. I went to do that as a like right before my shift. And I don't know if the sushi was bad or it was a combination of drinking scotch and sushi that I'm behind the bar and in the middle of talking to a couple, bro. I just started a boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And I had to walk away and flash forward, right? That happened in Brickell City Center when I first moved here, my second stint in Miami. I remember that happened at Brickell City Center. And fast forward to some time when I'm working in Peacock Park in Coconut Grove, and that same couple sat at my bar.
Oh, no.
And they're like, aren't you the guy who had to walk away and throw up in the middle of us trying to order? And I was like, damn, that was me, my bad. But I feel bad that they remembered me for that bullshit.
Yeah.
I hope a lot more of my guests remember me for positive shit, because that's not one of my proudest moments.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not one of my fucking proudest moments. But there's just been times where you just fucking... you're sick and you still gotta work through that shit because there was no backup bartender. I was all by myself, bro. So it's like, even like on one leg, you said with your Achilles heel, you never were able to bartend like that.
No.
Nobody's able to even fucking stand.
I couldn't.
But figuratively speaking, working on one leg, you know what I'm saying? Like you'll topple over in a little bit if you.
No, yeah, it's that's nearly impossible because I know I'm very clumsy as well. So I think I was on a scooter for a couple months and just me eating shit, you know, getting out of the house or whatever, because I had like 2 steps to get out of the house while I was on a scooter, and I'm there trying to answer the phone and do all this stuff and walk the dog on one leg. And I remember maybe twice where I would stumble or something. And I was on a cast. I was on one of those air casts. I would stumble or whatever, and I would, sin querer, put all my weight on that one fucking torn Achilles or repaired Achilles at the time. And I saw the stars for like 10 seconds. I'm going to not walk the dog. I'm not going to answer the phone. Fuck everybody. I'm going back to bed where I belong for the next 3 months. So... and I remember when it did happen in New Orleans, I had to go back to New Orleans, and it was like Tales of the Cocktails weekend and stuff like that. I know that they were slammed. I had to go back to pick up everything from my apartment to move back to Miami, and the bar manager really wanted me back.
Dude, that had to be a learning experience. The
What?
New Orleans thing.
It was, yeah, it was.
That's a fucking prime time place. I've never even visited, but I'm like, of many places, like, that's a drinking town, no? I mean,
100%. It's one of the few cities where 24-hour liquor license. So I remember I tried opening up a bartending school there. I would get to the club, let's say at 9 in the morning, and people were, just walking out. Or
are the trends different there? Do you notice, like, there's a different, like, drinking trend?
100%.
Do they order different drinks?
They order different drinks. It's a different clientele for sure. Cool people. For the most part, very, very cool, hospitable people as far as guest perspective. I remember there was, it wasn't the Jazz Fest, maybe the French Quarter Fest, where there was 3 blocks away, about 50,000 people. Once that shit ended, holy hell. And I was the only bartender, and I was training a bartender.
It's a stampede.
I told the girl, I think I sold like 15K.
Yeah, it's
that
crazy.
day. It
By
was
yourself.
ridiculous. By myself.
That's retarded.
And I was training a girl. I was like, just take single liquor drinks, take shots, and beers. Because I was working at Shots where there's 150 different shots on the menu. So how do you make a Superman? And all these layered different shots, right? I was like, girl, give me the Supermans, give me all those whatever, Wonder Womans and all these different things that you got to make. You just make Casamigos and soda. That's it. Make tequila soda all day. And that was wild. That was different. And I remember guests seeing me and leaving me extra tip because of how much I was just moving. They're like, dude, I know it took you like 10 minutes for you to give us our drink, but you don't stop.
You don't stop.
You
Yeah.
know,
It's
and-
cool to
and
get
they-
that recognition.
Yeah, which is good. Did I have bad moments? 100%. As far as disrespectful guests, man, I've never had so many disrespectful guests. You know,
But because they were overserved. I'm not assuming that you think of in New Orleans as just like maybe potentially being like a rude population, or was it just, man, people are having too much of a fucking good time that they come and then they're disrespectful?
that's a good point. I think it may be a little bit of both. I know for sure I almost got smacked with one of those hand grenades because they have those
Yeah, the
those
drinks.
big drinks, the
Yeah.
hand grenades and things like that. Who knows what the hell? I know that they put Everclear and like 50 other bottles in there.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, it's disgusting. People ask me if I drank them. I never had one. I don't even care to know what it tastes like. But I did almost get hit with one of those across the head, and somebody, yeah, for sure, he was very, very wasted. But I remember also attending these three ladies, and they sit at the bar, take care of them, they close out, beautiful, they're chilling, and I remember it was the first day that the kitchen opened. I don't know if I told you the story. The first day the kitchen opened, so we're excited because we had a badass kitchen back then. And I go back up to the ladies, hey, look, you know, now we have nachos, we got wings, we got burgers, you know, just in case you're interested. And this lady goes, who the fuck is talking to you? I go, ma'am, I'm fucking talking to you. You know, I told you that the food is coming out, so, you know, just in case you're interested, but okay, you don't want to know, then fuck you. You know, I mean, I didn't tell her
No,
that.
but inside. Yeah,
But
inside,
of course.
Of course.
And I just kind of walked away, and I was like, man, this city has some rude ass people, because I've never been just that disrespected from somebody who didn't seem like they were overserved. If they're overserved, I know I'm not dealing with the person in front of me. And even then, I still have a lot of patience. But it's funny, 5 minutes later, she's whistling at me, trying to get my attention. And she asked me a question, and I go, well, are you talking to me now?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, you're just sensitive. And now that I think about it, now that I say it, that's what everybody in New Orleans would tell me whenever I had an issue with a guest. You're just sensitive. I go, no, it's just called respect. You know, and that guy also, well, that person who almost hit me with a hand grenade, he came up with this female. After I had already, it was 3 females. Again, this was a different day, 3 females. They had a tab open. They were chilling, had a great time, whatever. I was taking care of them. And all of a sudden, this guy comes in with his female and a hand grenade, whatever. We weren't even supposed to allow drinks from outside, but I don't know how that happened. It was still early. I think it was maybe 1, 2 in the afternoon. And he goes, it's my girl's birthday, it's my birthday, it's their birthdays, it's everybody's birthday, so we want free shots. Okay. So back then, if you're familiar with shots, we had dick shots. We had shots in a dick syringe. And that's usually what I would give, you know, if it's a birthday or something like that, or bachelorette or something like that. I loved it. You know, it was always a show. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get something special for you, for the birthdays. As soon as I said I'm going to get something special, and I, pointed to his female friend and the other females or whatever, that's when he raised the glass and he goes, don't you ever offer anything special to my lady or something like that. And it was literally, it came like maybe 2 inches. And that's when I was like, no, now is nobody's birthday. Everybody's birthday is over. That's it. Nobody's getting anything. Again, I was the only bartender at the time because I was the opening bartender there. I went straight to my manager back then. I told him, dude, we need to kick this person out because he almost slammed the drink across my face. He's routing up all my guests and all this stuff. So it's funny. I was still filling out the application. I was hired a week before. I just wasn't officially hired, by paper and all that stuff. So I get out and I kind of sit towards the back of the club, continuing to fill out my application. And I think the manager was coming out to kick him out. And once he saw that he was getting kicked out, oh, you're a pussy ass bitch, all this stuff. You just sensitive.
There goes again.
There it goes.
There it goes again.
Am I the only sensitive person in this town, or what's going on? You know.
Before I forget, the funny shit that you're bringing up right now, that's the shit you don't learn in school. That's the shit that you can't be taught in a bartending school or from a book. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Those are the like from a like sociology or behavioral science and shit. All that shit starts to kick in, bro, because you have to know how to deal with these guests. Because I feel like it goes both ways. I've seen both things, which is weird, bro. People that are belligerently drunk and they're out of their fucking mind and rude. But I've also seen people that are like high and happy. And then you can also be high and happy and aggressive with your happiness. Because one of the weird things that sticks out in my mind was a service that I had, and it was a big burly guy. He was like a truck driver. And I mean, he was bulky or whatever, but he was going up to all the guests at the bar and putting his arm around them and like, yo, can I buy you a drink? So he wasn't being like fucking physical in the sense of aggressive, but physical in the sense of like invading people's space. And then you have to, because that's the other shit with us, man. Those are things that happen that then you have to fucking read the room. You can't turn a blind eye to the guy who is making the girls uncomfortable.
Of course.
Now you have to mediate this fucking situation that you didn't ask for, because all you did was get up, put your fucking pants on and your shoes to go make drinks and supply hospitality and service. And now you have to fucking be a babysitter or a parent or a security guard. And why a lot of times, bro, I've worked for managers that don't have your motherfucking back, or they have no backbone, or they don't trust your word.
Or they're afraid too. They're afraid of the drunk guest or whatever.
And I've also had the opposite, where I feel like people have almost been like too protective of the space. And I'm not asking you to like regulate in that moment, but I want you to be aware of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Because the other thing that ends up happening too, when you work in pairs or in a bartender team, and it's not just you, I've worked with people that tend to overserve and not give a fuck how much they're serving you as long as you're buying drinks. Like one time I remember somebody got cut. I start to move my section over and pick up the tables that are left, or the guests that are left on that side of the bar.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this lady, who could be my mother, my grandmother, is fucking wasted.
Yeah.
And she's had like, I look at her check, she's had 5 martinis. And I'm like, who the fuck gave this lady 5 martinis, bro? And funny story, dude, I'm talking to her, she's holding my hand, and I'm like, yeah, listening. And she goes to get up out of her seat, and they're high stools. She falls back, bro.
Oh my God.
Immediately. Oh, this is gonna be it's not my place, but lawsuit is coming. This shit is gonna be a fucking thing. I didn't serve her. She can't get up. So I go down to the floor. There's people walking past us. The restaurant is still open, and I'm down on the floor holding this lady's hand. And eventually I get her up, and I want to get her to her room.
Yeah.
And I'm not allowed to do this. This is like where shit becomes fuzzy. There's a gray area here because of the liability.
Yeah, but you also want to take care of her as a human being.
I want to make sure this lady gets to her room. So I say to my bosses, hey, I'm going to take her. I know this isn't like, but I need her to be safe. Again, something I shouldn't have done, but as I'm going up to the room, we get to her room, or what she thinks is her room, and she's swiping that fucking card and swiping the fucking card, and the red light and the swiping of the card, and the motherfucker comes to the door, bro, fucking pissed off. What the fuck are you trying to do, bro? It was the wrong fucking room. She was trying to get into the wrong room. I have to take this drunk lady back downstairs to fucking drop her off with the receptionist to be you take care of this shit now, because it's gone too far, bro.
Wow.
But that's why I laugh, because it goes both ways. And to go back to what I was saying originally, there's some things books and school can't prep you for. The only shit that gets you is real world situation.
100%.
Real world situation.
To make you good at bartending, you have to be behind the bar. You know, you have to be behind a high volume, and not even a high volume, but you have to have somewhere where it's moving. You know, you have movement, and you have to go ahead and see that for yourself. See situations for yourself, because I owned the bartending school for 6 years. I feel like it's good to go if you have absolutely no knowledge. But if you really want to go ahead and get out there, go to bartending school, but start applying. Start applying get out there. I know a lot of people today actually, I just got a call from somebody who graduated 3 years ago. Hey, yeah, no, I haven't bartended after bartending school at all. Maybe one just event. Because he had to go back to his country, had a family emergency and all that stuff. And that's great. I know shit happens. But if you want to be good, you gotta be on the line. You gotta be able to also.
Those are the fucking things that's like you walk through the fire, bro. That shit that makes you a stronger bartender. Because if you're half considerate about your job, you start to fucking read the room. You start to see the energies, bro. You start to see like, oh, this shit is going a little hairy. Couples that start fighting in the middle of service. You want to hear? This is a funny story at my job now, where I work at Blue Ribbon. I used to work with somebody who used to tell me, don't sell the duck fried rice to me. Mm-hmm. But it was only based on a story where I was working with her. And he was an older man with a younger, like, European woman.
Okay.
And, which again, you see that shit all over the beach. Yeah. It's normal, right? So they sit at the bar, and he starts asking me questions, because apparently it's his first time in the restaurant, about the menu. And there's a weird vibe, because she's not talking at all. He's very talkative, like New Yorker, just getting at me or whatever. And then I'm explaining the menu. And I get to the duck fried rice. He says, tell me about the duck fried rice. And mind you that actually, I think if my memory serves me right, a few seconds before this, while I'm answering questions about the menu, he just pulls her top down. This is a full bar, 5, 6, maybe 7 p.m. She pulls her little tank top down and exposes her fake breasts. And he asked me, he's like, she has nice breasts, right? And as a bar, you want to look as a male, but you want to laugh it off because it's a weird situation.
Yeah, you don't even know what to do.
And you can't really say, yeah, but you're like, ha, 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 fake laugh. What the fuck is going on? I'm trying to get my bearings and then go back to the task at hand.
Yeah.
And then she is comatose in a sense. She doesn't even pull her top back up.
You think she was drugged or something?
No,
or
I feel like she's numb. Just fucking numb to this shit.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't her first time.
No, or like, who knows, the trauma that she's been. I don't fucking have a clue, but she didn't move. She didn't have a reaction, bro. But as I tell him, one of the ingredients in this duck fried rice, which now you gotta go to my fucking restaurant and have it now after this fucking story. Treat yourself to this shit. And one of the ingredients is Korean dates.
Okay.
Like, I say, yo, the duck fried rice is dope because it's like duck à l'orange with Korean dates. And she all of a sudden opens her mouth. And she goes, what did you say? I said, Korean dates. She's like, don't talk to him about Asians because he cheated on me with a fat Asian girl. And this starts the weird shit, right? Like, oh man, this couple is not getting along right now.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know if they ordered the fucking rice, but he's watching a football game and she's just yapping in his ear, and he has earbud in his ear. He's listening to his AirPod or whatever the fuck it's called, and then he's trying to watch the game, and at one point he takes the fucking thing out of his ear and he goes, can you shut the fuck up? I'm trying to watch the game. This isn't a fucking packed bar. Everybody's starting to pick up on this couple, by the way. Nobody's saying anything to this dude. And she slaps him, bro, fucking full, like, in the middle of the fucking bar. And he goes to hit her back. This is when the whole bar, bro, gasped at the same time. You heard the whole... You could feel that shit, dude. Yeah. And he fucking cocked it and he stepped it right there, bro. We had to get this couple out of the restaurant, right?
Oh my God.
When we walk to the front door to make sure that they leave, when they cross the street, they start holding hands.
You're kidding me.
I swear to God.
No.
I swear to God that we laughed about this shit. Yeah. Uncomfortable babysitting.
Was that your most uncomfortable moment at the bar?
In recent memory, absolutely. Yeah. Have I had worse? Possibly. Yeah. But in recent memory, one of the weirdest fucking moments in my career. Absolutely, dude.
Oh absolutely.
It just stands out in my mind. Because, again, it was one of those situations where you just kind of... You're just trying to play with it. Yeah, it's like, I don't know if they're right. I don't know if they're wrong. And I really shouldn't give a fucking opinion. I'm just trying to do my fucking job.
Of course.
And I feel like sometimes, man, I work with bartenders, like, you can only go so far. There's some shit that at some point you gotta let it go, or you can't let it mean that much to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like rude guests. I've worked with people who get mad because somebody doesn't say please or say thank you.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're gonna get those fucking people in life. You just can't get hung up in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck it.
For sure.
Let it go. And I think that's the fucking masterful skill in this job. You want to really fucking be nasty is you know how to fucking let shit go and not take it home or not carry it. You just 100%. Know how to not carry it, but you know how to receive it. See what I'm saying? Because there's some people who they don't give a fuck. And many of us sometimes we're too busy with our own lives to really give a fuck and invest.
Yeah.
But I have to, if you're my regular or just my first time guest, I have to kind of make you believe that I care. And I have to care really for those 30 seconds, that 1 minute. But it can't be some shit that I fully invest my time into because I only have so much fucking life anyway, bro. Yeah. So I think my mistake sometimes in my job is like, wow, I've wasted a lot of time caring about making this person feel like I'm really there.
Yeah.
But at the very same time, bro, I'm trying to do my job. So you have to know the ins and outs. Because to be good at your job is to be present for somebody, but I've worked with motherfuckers who then drop anchor and they stop working. And now all you're doing is having this conversation. And I've kind of been guilty occasionally, but out of being courteous most of the time. Yeah. But there has to be times where you know when to step away from the conversation, bro. You have to know. You have to know that.
It's tough, though. Yeah. Because, one really drunk guest can go ahead and consume your whole night if you let it.
And it's funny because they think they're the only fucking guest at the bar. I'm like, they know that they're visiting you at work, but yet they talk to you and they couldn't care less about anybody else at the fucking bar. It's like, listen. Like, bro, I gotta fucking step away, B. I got shit to do, man. Yeah. And I also find sometimes that I notice people that are really nasty. They can focus on around the drinks and the conversation. Yeah. I have Mr. Magoo. I make mistakes sometimes. So sometimes I need to fucking laser focus on this fucking drink or this ticket order. And then I can pay attention to you. But I don't have this, I'm not that nasty where like, wow, I could fucking hold this conversation and I know I'm making a mojito and a Manhattan and a fucking pina colada and Hennessy.
Three totally different fucking specs and all that stuff.
You know, those are little things. But I laugh because I'm like, wow, man, the real pros at this shit, motherfuckers who know how to be present but not hold on, be fucking present but you don't grasp it. You don't grasp it.
That's like a master at their craft.
I think so. Well, do it in life, man. And in fucking life, bro. It's weird, man, because I feel like sometimes you need to give yourself your quiet time to get back to who you really are, Joey. You know what I'm saying? To who I really am, Alejandro. But when you just, I notice when I wake up in the morning, bro, I don't take time to just sit in bed and like pray or take a little moment to myself. It's like the moment I wake up, I grab my phone. Yeah. Or I go to look at news that really doesn't fucking matter to me, really. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't take this time to be like, damn, I'm gonna get up, I'm not gonna look at my phone, and I'm gonna fucking look deep inside of me to get back to who I am before I offer my services to the rest of this fucking community. Because I love what I do. But days that I've realized that I fail is because, man, I'm letting all the noise get to me. Yeah. All that fucking noise up top. Yeah. And it's like, yo, dive deep and do your inner work. And then if you're fucking not chaotic inside, bro, the chaos outside, you can handle that shit. But I failed at my fucking job the moment that I let my inner chaos be on full display.
For sure.
And now I'm not considerate of the bar space. Now, what's more important is that this bar know that I'm pissed off. Yeah. My emotions, that I'm having a shitty day, I have to fucking let you know that I'm here, but I'm not having a good day. And those days I don't leave proud. I'm like, I failed at my job. I failed. Because you really want to be nasty, bro, you leave that shit at the door. Yeah. You put on the act, the persona, and not even to be fake, because I'm not saying be fake. That's the skill. That's what I mean. How can you fucking be real without disappearing? Yeah. See what I mean? Yo, how can I fucking be here and not feel that I'm being railroaded by everybody else's needs.
Yeah.
You know, that's, to me, that's the real shit that at my age and how much time I spend in this business, bro, I'm like, wow. There's something that needs to be said about that, and it needs to be more talked about.
Yeah.
And why sometimes I feel that many bartenders and people in the kitchen resort to alcohol and drugs. You bust your ass all night for 8-9 hours. You take shit from everybody. And at the end, you're like a rat at the end of a maze. You want a piece of cheese. Bro, I fucking ran this fucking maze. Give me my motherfucking piece of cheese right now, bro. And that's bad. You should be able to run that fucking maze and go home sober as can be.
Yeah.
And know that you flew the fucking plane and you got everybody home and you're fucking good. And you should be proud with that. But I've noticed that because we juggle all that shit, you want to escape. You want to smoke a joint. You want to take a shot.
Of course.
And then it's funny because we laugh about hangovers and shit like that. But yo, at the end of the day, if you continue running that hamster wheel, you're destroying yourself.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing about this business that I wish we could finesse better. You could better approach this shit with people. It's almost like brushed under the rug, bro. It's like, do your job and good luck from there.
What do you think is the key to a long career in hospitality?
You gotta love this shit. You gotta really love this shit. I think if you want to do it in the long run and you want to be good at it, you have to find and remember what it is you really like about this. You can't do this shit and like hate people or hate service or not care about it.
100%. Or just do it for the money.
Or just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I feel like you have to, some level of you has to do this shit for the long run and make a career out of it. You have to love it. You have to love it.
Yeah. What would you say is your biggest pet peeve as a bartender?
My biggest pet peeve as a bartender?
Yeah, when a guest does the following.
Pays and then orders a drink right after paying the tab. You know what I'm saying?
You say, "Oh, would you like to open up a tab?" No, Apple Pay.
Oh, that's
and then the Apple Pay,
this.
and then the face doesn't recognize. Oh wait, no, it's my friend's phone. She's in the bathroom. The phone doesn't recognize me either.
This Apple Pay shit has me crazy.
It's funny because I have friends that I go out with. They'll be like, "No, but I have Apple Pay." I'm like, you know how much I hate Apple Pay as a bartender?
That Apple Pay works in so many locations. The bar is not one of them. And I laugh. The bar is not one of them. And I also laugh because I'm like, damn, bro, imagine when bartenders that did this shit in the 70s and 80s when there was no fucking, like, it was all cash.
Yeah.
Like, that was crazy. It's crazy to me how much you could have walked away with at that point.
Yeah.
In an all cash business. But I think one of my biggest pet peeves is definitely that shit. People that fucking close a tab and then order drinks right after. And I'm trying to think of another one because I know there's way more.
Oh,
there's a lot of shit I could nitpick, but that's definitely up there, dude.
Okay, interesting. No, yeah, one of mine's is especially in the nightclub. I remember when they would be like, "Oh yeah, let me get this." Okay, it's about $80, and they just go ahead and just take out a wad of money, but it's all crumbled up, and they're like, "Okay, here's $120 and there's another $20," and it's like, I don't go ahead and get your drink and just shake it up in the glass and give it to you. So why are you just shaking up your money?
You know what I hate? I just thought of this, and I know other bartenders are gonna agree with me. You go out of your way to garnish the shit out of a drink. Specifically,
I know where you're going.
Specifically, something with a beautiful crown of mint.
Yeah.
And like anything else, where you fucking peel the shit out of a lemon and you twist it and you put it, and then these cocksuckers take the shit off and throw it on the fucking bar top like you didn't just spend time fucking picking that shit and putting. To me, you might as well fucking slap me in the face, bro.
Yeah.
You might as well spit in my drink, dude. That's disrespectful.
Yeah.
Leave the fucking mint crown in the fucking drink because it's for your nose and not to tickle your nose, but get a little smell.
Exactly.
Take 2 drinks and now toss the fucking thing.
Yeah.
But immediately upon serving you, you just take the crown out. I should be like, I'm charging you twice.
Yeah.
I'm charging you twice.
100%.
Yeah, that's so whack when you fucking garnish the shit out of something.
Yeah.
Ugh, that sucks.
The thing is, I feel like people, I think we spoke about this either before air or maybe at the beginning. People just don't take cocktail making or bartending as serious as maybe any other profession. So, they don't see the art behind the cocktail. They don't see the love behind the cocktail. They just think, it's an espresso martini, it's whatever. Let's just go ahead and just like, for example, I was at a wine tasting and we're there talking about the wine, not me, but the som, he's discussing it all of a sudden, and then, not everybody has even gotten the wine yet, and the first person that got it was just look, and it didn't smell it, didn't look at it, they have no idea, they just went ahead and they backed it down, and it's like, dude, like, you don't even know what you're drinking yet. The guy hasn't even mentioned the wine. Let's go ahead. Let's appreciate this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just law. You have no idea what you're doing. It's just you stand out in the crowd. It's like,
you stand out. That tells us about you because, goddamn, you got to go ahead and appreciate what's in that glass.
In a room full of people, the moment that shit happens, it's like you couldn't have exchanged 3 words with me, and I know you already. Thank you, because now I fucking know you.
We all gasped. I mean, the ones I saw, it was like,
no.
And the person pouring was like, dude, no, I'm not going to give you any more because you don't appreciate it,
No,
come on.
There's some no-nos. Those are no-nos, man. Those are no-nos.
That's just something you don't do,
No, man. There's so many. I mean, and there's also, I get mad at when you're working service bar, there's shit that other employees do, like, not knowing how to ring in shit, or they order martini and they don't tell you what fucking, is it a twist, is it an olive? They don't even help you garnish. Like, that's another shit that bothers me. I'll be working service bar, I'm banging out drinks, and servers are there talking to me while I'm trying to make their fucking tickets. And I'm like, bro, help me out. Garnish your own fucking drink. The garnishes are there. It's not like I'm like they're hiding on my side.
Yeah.
We're sharing a space. Grab a motherfucking lemon. Grab a fucking bamboo pick and put that shit on your vodka soda. Stop waiting for me to do the fucking drink to then also garnish for you. Like, you fucking lazy bastard. and you lazy
And then they're telling you, like, hey, they're in a hurry. Or, like, how about when the server takes the drink order, or when they push send 5 steps away from you and then come 5 steps closer to you, like, hey, did you get this ticket? Yeah, but I also got 5 other tickets with fucking 10 drinks in them.
Those things. And that's why I don't feel that's one big problem in hospitality. It's the collection of little fucking hammers, little fucking
Yeah.
And then you lose your shit
until
bro.
you break like the tile in your apartment.
Yeah, you snap. I'm only human, bro. I'm only human, dog. At some point, I'm gonna snap, bro. And those are things that really I wish we could get together in this business. Like, damn, we should have more, be more considerate like this.
For sure. I think more considerate and just more working together. I feel like also it's a business where, like we've spoken about, where people do this for the money. So it's like, I'm going to do me and I'm going to do me and I'm only going to attend my section. And, you have a drink to run. Well, good luck or whatever. But I feel like if everybody kind of works together, it's a well-oiled machine to where everybody just gets better results, better tips, better everything, and if everybody works together.
And that's frustrating because I've spent time in the business enough to know, actually, that when you have working for a good, solid team, really, like just a team full of stars, that shit only lasts so long, because that's the other thing about this business. It's a revolving door. And like when you have that crew, bro, enjoy the shit out of that crew, because eventually somebody's going to exit, somebody's going to enter. And one energy could fuck the whole thing up.
For sure.
One toxic motherfucker can fuck the whole energy of a crew up. But I've worked for places where I look back and I'm like, damn, bro, we were studs. That was a fucking slaughterhouse of a team. And you miss that shit when you don't have it. But
100%.
To execute that shit is hard. It's hard to find good help, and it's hard to fucking get everybody to be on the same page. And I find that some of that shit starts at the head. If the fucking head stinks, the whole fucking thing stinks, bro.
Yeah.
And I find that that's the other thing, because sometimes you go in with your integrity and the shit you want to do, but if one person doesn't give a fuck and they're allowed to not give a fuck, it just begets everybody else to not give a fuck either, and now you're just working in a sloppy system that's only getting worse by the day because nobody's taking responsibility for it. And that shit is cool if you have another plan, if you want to go and sell whatever, or you want to go and be a rock star, whatever the fuck your plan is when you exit the business is cool. I'm not hating on you for that. But while you're in the fucking restaurant, treat that shit with respect because it pays your fucking bills. I know that it's not your business. I know that you may not love it.
No.
But treat it with respect while you're here.
No.
You know, that's my shit too. When I work with teams, I'm like, damn, bro, you make money, but you take no responsibility for picking shit up, you know?
For
like,
sure. Yeah, it's like you said, they don't care. They don't care as much as the people who have been doing it for a long time and actually have passion for it. They're just like, oh, it's another restaurant or another service or another whatever. When yes, I mean, it's in some case it can be, but it's also that guest's first experience and first impression to where if you leave a mark on that guest, I mean, you know, I've met quite a few people or interesting cats because it's also a networking thing, you know? You're going to make money, you're going to network, and you don't know if that person is going to go ahead and come every week, is going to come the next time with 20 people and say, look, this is Alejandro, this is a badass bartender, this is the guy I told you about that freaking served me the best Manhattan I've ever had. And people who do it just for the money, they don't get that because they don't care. You know,
to piggyback on that, I think this is a city that's growing culinary wise, like
incredibly,
like crazy,
Miami
like on
is,
steroids, right?
Yeah.
So I love it about
now
this
we're
city.
on the map. Before we weren't on the map.
You're not, and for whatever reason, it's fine. It's time. It's about time that we get there, right? But because there's so much competition, that's why you need your team to execute like that if you want return business.
Yeah.
That's why all the fucking dog and pony shows are gonna fail.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can only do that show for so long. I think that we're going back now to people are looking for integrity, people are looking for quality, and people are looking for a vibe as opposed to a show. No. You know what I'm saying? But if you have a shitty experience, I know if I go someplace and I have a shitty experience, the possibility of me going back there a second time is like...
Yeah.
It's almost zero, bro.
It's got to be like somebody's birthday that they invited you, and you're like, oh God, okay, we're going back there.
No, but
even then.
But that's why I feel like there's a lot of fucking competition. Restaurants come and go in this city, and if you want to leave your mark and a stamp, bro, you have to be like, a person has to wake up and be like, damn, you know where I'm gonna go? I'm gonna go there. Yeah. Why? Because I fucking feel good there. Yeah. Not because, oh my God, I need to have that fried chicken. Yo, I need to have that. Okay, occasionally that could be it because you have a craving. Hopefully your food is like that. But really, you want to fucking tap into an emotion, bro.
You feel
and
comfortable.
A feeling and be like, yo, you know where I like being? I like fucking being across from the bar with this cat. Yeah. Or with this girl. That, to me, is when you really nail the motherfucker. And you're like, bro, I got you. Yeah. I got you. And then again, like I said earlier, sometimes you collect the motherfuckers, you're like, fuck, why'd I collect them? But business is business, and you want people coming in the door. You know what I'm saying? Of course.
No, and you never know who that person's going to bring next.
You know? Bro, never know. Never know. And you never know who you're serving either. I heard something not long ago that is like, you never wipe your ass before you shit. And I love that. Because sometimes you get a guest coming in and you judge them and you're like, this ticket is going to be worth garbage. This is going to be shit. And sometimes they're the person who tips you the most for 100%. Doing the least. And you were painting a story in your head already like, hey, this fucking guy, this fucking woman. And then they end up being a sweetheart. Yeah. So you don't wipe your ass before you shit. You know 100%. That's my piece of advice for
heard it here,
that.
Guys.
Don't wipe your ass before you shit. Word to the wise. Rule number 101.
Rule number 101. That's funny. What would you say is the biggest difference between bartending or hospitality in New York and Miami?
It's very similar. I think you still have a lot of those grandiose personalities. You have a lot of people that like to talk food or think they know it all. And sometimes it's cool to expose them, and it's also good to listen to other people because sometimes you'll learn from other people and their experiences and what they have to talk about. And a lot of times I feel like we listen to people waiting to say something on top of them, that you're marinating about, oh man, what am I going to add to this conversation? Yeah. Like sometimes slow down and listen to people, bro, because they'll fucking give you something that later on will pay dividends in said conversation or whatever. But I don't feel that there's this major difference. Maybe the one thing is that the palate in New York City was for a long time, maybe up until now, way more advanced. Like the the drinking culture, the drinking patterns, those are different. Like, it's weird. Out here, you want more refreshing drinks and stuff like that, but because of the climate and stuff, I feel like you were making more boozy I was making more boozy, spirit-forward drinks in New York than I am here in Miami.
Okay.
But overall, I don't think that they're that far off, but New York City, of course, has been doing it for so many years.
Yeah.
That there's so many people that know what they like, they have good taste, and that's the one difference that I just feel New York had a lot more to offer for a long time, but Miami's catching up.
It's catching up. It's incredible. I think we had 4 bars in the top 50 or top 100 this past year.
Bro, there's people out here that are absolutely like slaying the game. They're killing it. Guys are Kaiju, Derek Stillman, fucking the people over at fucking, they just opened up Vecinos, Canita. I mean, every day that I look, there's a new spot that I'm excited that's open.
And it's a hot spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then that's the shit that sucks. Some of these places become too popular and then you can't go back. So it's nice to get in on the like early, enjoy it, and then be like, I had it already and I'm out, whatever. But I love what Miami's offering. I love what Miami's doing, bro.
No, it's definitely become freaking, it's a launch, really. Because, again, 5 years ago, we had no restaurants in the top 100 in the North America. We had probably no bars or anything like that, maybe 5-10 years ago. And now is when everything's kind of starting to pop up and everything's escalating and people from New York are moving down here, even in this industry. What I was gonna ask you, what's your favorite day to bartend as far as throughout the year? Is it a New Year's? Is it a holiday? Is it a, I know mine's is the day before Thanksgiving. I feel like because it's always a party day, and then Thanksgiving everybody's off and you get to drink the hangover away.
Damn, that is a fucking good question, bro.
But what's your favorite day? I love Halloween too because you get to see some interesting cats as they walk in. New Year's, everybody's always happy. You don't bartend a bad New Year's Eve day. So what's your favorite day out of the year to bartend?
Well, Halloween has always been one of my favorite holidays, and I always feel like there's some crazy energy in the air. People let loose. There's just a lot more that's like, it's a relaxing, sexy vibe. I like that shit. But it's funny that you asked me that because I don't even think it's a holiday. Sometimes I like bartending in the middle of the week, like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, when you're the only bartender.
Okay.
And then you end up having like a solid service on any random fucking night.
Yeah.
But it was controlled madness. Because I don't like, sometimes Friday, Saturday, Sunday can be too busy.
Yeah.
And you're almost too busy to even be available. But the nights that you can juggle it all, the banter, you have time to talk, you're busy enough that you have to walk away, and you're alone because it's a fucking random day.
Yeah.
So you make all the money. To me, those are gems. Those are the fucking, like the secret shifts. Because everybody in this business wants, I want to work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Nah, that Monday, that Tuesday that you fucking weren't ready, but you smash. Those fucking beautiful. Those fucking beautiful.
Where you walk away, you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
I killed it.
Random day I despise the most in most restaurants is Mother's Day. I hate that fucking day because everybody's mother is the most important on that day. And you don't have enough seats. And
Valentine's
pretty cool, but it's a whole bunch of two tops.
Normally it's always two tops.
You see people get engaged or you see people break up because I've seen that shit too. But yeah, I was like, that's weird, right? But I feel like those days you expect to be busy. Most of the time you're overstaffed.
Yeah.
And then, because the nights you get your ass kicked really bad are the days that you're never prepared, you never expected to be busy.
Yeah.
Like, never. But looking back, I'm like, damn, I like those secret days where it's just controlled.
Where you think you're getting 50, but you're really getting 80, and you're by yourself, like you say, yeah.
And you have full control, because sometimes you have to dance next to somebody else. It's sometimes nice to feel like, yo, this is my lemonade stand, 100%. And everything is where I want it to be. The lemon juice, the Angostura, the eggs, you keep shit.
Yeah.
Because I have my OCD, and I like to keep shit in a particular order for me.
Yeah.
And selfishly, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
No, but that's good, because, you run the show.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm like, those are sweet shifts. Because it's like, for one night, this is my bar. Because I don't own one.
Exactly.
So you get to technically fake for a little
Have
while.
you ever been in a shift where you just want to walk out?
Absolutely. Coconut Grove Arts Festival, bro. And listen, do you want to know what happened that day? I was yelling at the POS. I was standing at the POS, cursing at everybody and my name and myself. And this is before COVID. And I look back on this, bro. I would leave that place in the Grove, and I would be saying, a big red tide is going to kill all of you fucking...
That's when you were at Peacock Park?
Peacock Park, because I was angry. It was like 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people. I was not ready. The restaurant was not ready. And I left, and I'm looking at... Imagine, the streets that were full of people like 2 hours ago are completely empty. And I'm like, wow, where's everybody now?
Yeah.
Come get a drink now. I remember being angry.
Oh, man.
We're good.
All right. Last couple of questions before we go ahead and we take off. If you were to only have one drink for the rest of your life, what would it be? Or one spirit? Let's go one spirit.
One spirit.
One spirit, to not have to say one drink.
No, one spirit has to be mezcal.
Mezcal?
Yeah, because there's mezcal is a dope one that you could. It's made in so many different places. The flavor profile could be immensely different depending on how they made it, where it comes from.
True.
And happiest drunks that I've ever been is like when I drink tequila or mezcal.
Yeah.
So for sure mezcal. And if I had to have one cocktail, if I had
one
to throw
cocktail.
one
like
cocktail.
You go to the bar and every menu you look at only has this one cocktail. Even though the person next to you sees the full cocktail menu. But in Alejandro's eyes, you only see one cocktail.
Oh,
you're like, fuck, oh my God, these people serve the same thing as next door. But in reality, it's because your eyes only see that.
Perfectly made fucking drink for me would most probably be like a Jalisco swizzle. Like something with tequila, Angostura, lime juice, soda, and Peychaus bitters or whatever. Like something simple like that with a little mint at the bottom, like a play on them. Yeah. That to me, a Jalisco swizzle.
It's like refreshing, it's strong at the same time. It's...
That shit may hit everywhere. It's funny that I don't order that in many places. But in terms of everything that I'm looking for in a drink, that shit has a little bit of everything.
I like it.
That shit has a little bit of it all.
Nice. Last one. Top bars are your favorite bars in Miami or New York or in the world. It could be anywhere. Let's say top 3.
Kaiju is going to take my number 1 spot in terms of a menu. Employees Only in New York is going to take my top as like a vibe, a place where it feels like a party when it gets busy.
Yeah.
And it's just sexy. It's a sexy crowd, a sexy time. And if I had to throw a third one at you, that has to be in there. It sucks because it closed, but there was a place in New York City called Suffolk Arms that was owned by Giuseppe Gonzalez. That place was unique. It was just, the drinks were great, the vibe was great, the whole concept was great, and I'm sad that is over.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that before I left New York, I got to have my going away party there. Respect to Giuseppe, wherever the hell he is. That's a guy I respect in the business, and I feel like top 3 bars that I have remembered, those are 3.
Yeah.
Kaiju is a must for anybody in Miami.
100%.
Don't fuck up. Go to fucking Kaiju, because they level that whole shit up.
Yeah. No, their hospitality and their cocktails are...
And that's without a food program. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's just drinks. They kill. Yeah.
All right. Anything you want to say to anybody getting into this industry? Last words, or anything you want to say to the crowd about you? Where to find you? Anything like that?
Listen, if you want to follow me on Instagram, I'm at Alejo Dalmau. That's Dalmau, like Dalmatian. Alejo Dalmau. I work at Blue Ribbon Sushi Bar and Grill on 21st and Park. You're always welcome. I'm gonna take care of you like family. And if you're gonna join, or you're even interested in getting into the business, and you have the opportunity, I say do it. Don't think about it twice. In a couple of weeks, give yourself 90 days. You'll know if it's for you or if it's not for you. But once you're in, bro, and you feel like, damn, you know what? I found the right fit. Yo, it'll suck you in. It'll call you in, and I do feel like you have a lot to learn from this business. A lot. It incorporates a lot.
No.
It's a lot. Not just hospitality, but life in general. It's a good teacher.
Yeah, you learn a lot about yourself, about the industry, about everything.
About everything, a lot to learn from it. And sometimes, it's cool if you have charisma, but if your thing is, I don't have charisma, bro, it's just good to be and provide a service. If you like to provide a service, it's worth it.
There you have it, guys. Alejandro, go visit him. Trust me, this is one of the greatest bartenders behind the bar. No, not because you're my guest or anything, but seen him in nightclubs. I've seen him in Times Square. I've seen him in the beach. I've seen him everywhere. He's been my bartender for many years, and hospitality is always A1. So
thank you very
for coming
much.
on.
You're the man. I love you very much.
No.
Much respect, brother.
Of course. No, there you have it. In the biz.
You gotta have this on tap.